Hello, Nell here, and I'm here for another 5-minute movie review. I told you I would give you 2 in 1 week, and I had to catch up on these movies, so here we go. Now, this one came out a long time ago, like what, 3 months ago now. It's not even in theaters anymore, so you should have already seen it, so there will be spoilers in this recap. I won't give away the entire ending, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about this movie. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, like the videos, and make sure you comment so we can go ahead and get this discussion going about M Knight Old by M Knight Shamalan, and this is 1 hour and 48 minutes long, and it's a quick pace movie. It definitely starts up right away. The main family of 4 wins a mysterious all expense paid trip to an island, and that is an overused horror movie trope to the point where in real life, if I ever got a free trip like that, I probably wouldn't go. I gotta be honest. So overused trope, but it starts off immediately. They get to the resort, and then the very next day, actually, there's very little character development. They go to the remote part of this island, this beach that they're on, and that's where this movie primarily takes place. I do like the setting. The beach is pretty. You can tell a lot of the water scenes are CGI. You can tell that. With the mountains part, the rocks in the back, though, I couldn't really tell if there was something added on there with the CGI or not. So it was blended very well, and it was creepy for me. It's these huge, tall rocks. You enter in certain ways, but you actually kind of have to walk around the rocks to enter in. So you could get lost trying to get out, especially trying to get out in a hurry. Also, it's kind of a shallow beach. It looks like if you had a big enough wave, it would slam you right into the rocks and you wouldn't be able to get away. So for me, it's not the type of beach actually I'd like to be on for a very long time. It actually felt creepy, so I like the setting a lot there for the beach. The soundtrack of the movie was good. It helps with the setting the scene, the eerie scene, helping with certain emotional parts of the movie, so I did like the soundtrack. I thought he made good use of that. M. Knight himself does have a cameo in this movie, like he always does. He always driving things. He's driving the van that drives them to the beach in this one. He's always driving. And so small part, really has nothing to do with the movie. Had that there. As far as the cast themselves, I like the whole cast actually, even from like the young kids, the teenage kids, and the adults who are also playing those same kids. I like the entire cast. I thought that they did a lot with the little material that they had. Again, the script is very thin on character development. There's no flashbacks or really anything like that. All of the development's done through spoken exposition, and the way that it's done, it's not really done in a clever way. It's just kind of flat out like, hey, I was a fireman, and da 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 da. So it's not really done in any clever way, but the people, the actors made good use of that dialogue. I thought they did the best that they could with that dialogue. I thought you could see chemistry, especially with the 2 families. You have the one family of 4 with the 2 kids. You also have another family with 1 small kid and a grandma. And I thought you actually saw good chemistry with those families, and when the groups came together, the other couples and all of that. So again, I thought that the actors, the cast, was probably the highlight of this movie. I do like the cast. The story would have been better if so much of it wasn't given away in the previews. Of course, again, I'm always gonna keep complaining about it, but especially for an M. Night Shamalan movie where it's all about the twists and turns and the secrets and what happens. So why give away, honestly, 2 of the most major sequences in the entire movie in the trailer? It made no sense. So as far as the actual aging, it's pretty inconsistent as far as how people are aging. Some people seem to be aging quicker than others. They do have a line where they're like, yeah, black don't crack because the black folks aren't aging at all. Even once we get to the point where they're like 20, 30, 40 years, you know, into this. And it's like, okay, look, I know I still look 21, but my mother does not. Thanks for the shout out, but by not having the black characters age at all, it messed up the consistency of the movie. It's like, what's going on here? Also with the kids, and them actually growing the way they are, shouldn't they be super hungry? It's just something that I was thinking of, like, shouldn't they be starving because they're actually getting bigger? Shouldn't they all be hungry because the aging process is being accelerated? But again, especially those kids, because they're actually physically growing. Just something to think about. I like the fact that it accelerated the healing of damage that was done to the physical body outside of the physical body. Like if you cut yourself, it would heal up really quickly. But as far as the diseases and the things that they had growing that were naturally inside the body, it wouldn't heal that, just sped that up as well. So the dementia, someone with seizures, things of that nature. So it doesn't heal that, but if you were to cut yourself, it healed that. There's a surgery that takes place, and I actually like that whole scene. They have to hold the womb open to take out the tumor. I thought that scene was nice and well done. The aging process, again, as far as mentally and emotionally, is it consistent with the kids that are actually growing as well? Because at some point it seems like they are children, like still 6 years old or however they were, in teenage bodies. That's actually how it felt, which is why they shouldn't have given away that pregnancy scene in the trailer, because there's no foreshadowing to that. Just because the kids like each other, they still seem like little kids. It seems like they might get caught kissing. It doesn't actually imply that they're going to have sex. So when she comes out pregnant, it is a bit of a shocker if it wouldn't have been given away in the previews. Also, when she falls off of the mountain because she falls asleep, would have been a shocker if they wouldn't have given that away in the previews. So it was really hampered by that. But other than that, I thought the movie was okay. I would say see it if they wouldn't have given away those two things in the previews. It would have been worth the money, but it's already out of theaters anyway. So there it is. So yeah, I did like it, but the spoilers made it so I couldn't like it more like I wanted to, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it. That's my review of Old by M Knight Shamalan. And normally I do once for like a sequel, but there's pretty sure there's not gonna be a sequel to this. So real quick, I just want to talk about M Knight Shamalan movies real quick, and how M Knight, me loving horror movies, me loving twists and turns and to be surprised, I'm the type of person who tends to like M. Night's movies, okay? So there's not any M. Night movies that I just completely hate other than The Last Airbender. I don't know why he did that. I think he even directed After Earth with Will Smith and baby Will Smith. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, although I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that. That movie was going good, and then it really fizzles out in the end and gets kind of long-winded there for like the last 30, 45 minutes, although he just didn't stick the landing. And that's how I feel with a lot of his movies, that he just doesn't stick that landing. I'm going good, and it's just like, or I'm going good, and then I figure it out halfway into the movie, and it's like, like with the movie Devil. I actually like that movie, but I figure out who the devil is like 35 minutes in, so I'm just figuring out, the rest of the movie is just about jump scares and figuring out how it's going to unfold. So with him, for me, majority of his movies are par. It's like, just can't stick that landing. And then he has the standouts that I love. Gives me hope to like, okay, give you another try. There's even some recent standouts. Of course, you know, you have The Sixth Sense, and I didn't like Signs as much as everyone else did, but I do recognize why everybody loves Signs so much. And then Unbreakable, and then Split. I love Split so much. I love the movie so much. And then when he opened up the whole universe, I was like, oh, I'm so here for it. And then Glass was so disappointing. All that, no one's ever gonna know about it. Oh, but the world's gonna see because of security cameras, as if they can't just erase the security cameras. Come on, all of that, you gonna kill all the, for real? So disappointed, but I love Split. I even love this movie called The Visit. I think The Visit came out after Split. It's one that not a lot of people know about. It's a really good movie. Really good movie. So again, would I like his movies? I freaking love the movies. The rest, I don't necessarily hate them. They're just par. There's even movies like The Happening where I love the idea of plants fighting back, but it's just so poorly executed. It's just like, come on, man. The Village, love that movie too. I even figured out that they probably were in such a remote area that they didn't realize that the rest of the world had moved forward that far. I figured that out. The only thing was, I wanted it to be real monsters. It would have been so cool if they were so isolated and trapped because of real monsters and didn't realize the rest of the world had moved forward. But you had to have people in funny suits. Oh my God. So, yeah. So let me know how you feel about M. Night Shamalan. I've grown up with him now at this point, because Sixth Sense came out when I was a kid. So and being a horror fan, his movies have kind of like laced my life story a little bit. They kind of like a little bit of that icing. So let me know how you feel about M. Night Shamalan, about his movies. Are you constantly disappointed? Do you hate those movies? If so, which movie do you hate the most? Which movie do you love? If you don't like any love any movies, go ahead and talk to me about M. Night Shamalan. Especially give me that worst and that one that you like the most. So go ahead, subscribe, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye. Spooky, spooky goodbye. Ooh.